China has always created lots of problems on the Indo-Tibetan borders. And not just on the Indo-Tibetan borders, even to the Pakistan borders also. Earlier they had done it in Galwan, they had earlier done in Doklam issues. Doklam, that was a border between India, Bhutan and Tibet. India right now, even though they had made remarks in a very strong manner, but somehow it is very important to understand that China is a colonial state, and they will make sure to malign India whenever they think it's needed for them to do.
We can see there is some recent incidents of rising Chinese aggression in India-Pakistan borders. There's already some controversy going on. So Chinese are now again creating some trouble for India. How do you see this?
So since Tibet was occupied in 1959, China has always created lots of problems on the Indo-Tibetan borders. And not just on the Indo-Tibetan borders, even to the Pakistan borders also. So presume that they are the new colonial state. So if there's the existence of new colonial state just next to your neighbor, right, and then your borders are all being labeled as a disputed land, then obviously China will make any trouble, any time, whenever there is a need for them to make India in a more troubled state. So therefore, this time also, it's not a new thing. Shaksgam Valley is not a new thing. Earlier they had done it in Galwan, they had earlier done in Doklam issues. Doklam, that was a border between India, Bhutan and Tibet. So in Tawang sector also, they had been doing it consistently for over years. So therefore, I think it is very important to understand what is the psyche behind the Chinese colonial regime, right? And therefore, I think India right now, even though they had made remarks in a very strong manner, but somehow it is very important to understand that China is a colonial state, and they will make sure to malign India whenever they think it's needed for them to do.
India has already cleared its stand by saying that we never recognized so-called China-Pakistan boundary agreement of 1963. So even then, China is trying to create some troubles. So what would be the intention behind? Do they want to divert the things?
See, China, many times whenever there is this disengagement between India and China, there were people saying that it is merely a destructive kind of tactics that China is following. Somehow we do understand that there are lots of troubles, there are lots of problems within China. So this time maybe because since Pakistan is another issue that India has been consistently trying to work on, and by aligning with Pakistan on Shaksgam Valley, that too on the Indian border, is another thing that that China has been keeping into. So I think even though India has made a very clear stand to the China, even to Pakistan, but still then China has been doing that. That means that they have lots of things in their mind to do, right, which will hamper the India-China relations. But somehow what we are thinking is, if we have the new century, that is the Asian century, that is the India and China's enlightenments and the power symmetrics, that means that India and China should have more engagements rather than the disengagement. So this is one of the tips for disengagement with the new year coming up, right? With the new year of 2026 coming up, and suddenly China has been working on to disrupt the relations between India and China. That is not a good thing.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.